All right, everybody, we are back. Lesson 9-8 in your Tennessee Revealed Geometry is the Law of Cosines. All right, so first off, how do you know when you use law of sines, law of cosines? How do you know when it's just, your Oscar had a heap of apples, your sine, cosine, tangent? Okay, first off, it has to be a right triangle to use sine, cosine, and tangent. It has to be a right triangle. If it is not a right triangle, it's either the law of sines or it's the law of cosines. Now, how do you tell the difference? If you have a matching set, like if you have both angle A and side A, that's a matching set. That's the law of sines. If you do not have a matching set, it's the law of cosines. So if you're wondering how do you tell the difference, well, it depends on what the problem is giving you. But you have to have a matching set, either the angle and its opposite side, either A, B, or C, for it to be a law of sines. All right. The first time I tell my students this is the formula, well, you can imagine they kind of freak out. Um, but you only use whichever one you need. If you're looking for either side A or angle A, use the first one. If you're looking for side B or angle B, use the second one. And if you look for either side C or angle C, use the third one. I want you to realize that they really are very, very similar to each other. In fact, the very first three things you see in all three of these is the Pythagorean theorem. So it's a squared. If you're looking for A, either the side or the angle, is equal to b squared plus c squared. And then you're going to subtract off twice the measures of these two sides. If it's b and c, it'll be minus 2bc. If it's a and c, it'll be minus 2ac. If it's a and b, it'll be minus 2ab. So it depends on what you're looking for. And then you multiply it by the cosine of a. And it will also always be a cosine because this is the law of cosines. It's not going to be a sine in there at all. All right, with that being said, you're probably going, oh, Ms. Eccles, I just don't get it. Back up. Well, most of you are visual. Let's just get into it. All right, so I'm on page 557 of your workbook, and I'm looking at example number 1, which they are nice enough to set up and do for us. That's nice. All right, first off, how do I know what to do? Okay, I always look at it. It is not a right triangle. It does not look like a right triangle. That's a 44. That's obtuse, and angle A is acute, not a right triangle. So then I'll look for, do I have a matching set? Do I have angle A and side A? Do I have angle B and side B? Do I have angle C and side C? And the answer is no. No, I don't. I do not have angle A, but I have side A. Okay, not a matching set. I do not have angle B, but I do have side B. Not a matching set. I have angle C, but I do not have side C. So not a matching set. I do not have a matching set, which means it is not a law of sines. This is a law of cosines. It's our only and last choice. And I am looking for side C. It says to find X. Well, angle C, which is 44, opens up to this side. In between A and B is little c, so I'm looking for angle C, which means, side C, which means I'm looking for this right formula right there. So it's going to be c squared equals a squared plus b squared minus 2ab cosine c, because I am looking for side C. That's the side across from angle C. All right, so they just plug and chug at this point. C squared, they replace it with x squared because that's what's in our problem. A is the side across from A, which is the 0.9. They put it in as 0.9 and then square it. B is the side across from angle B, which is 2.9 squared, minus 2 times 0.9 times 2.9. It's always going to be a times a cosine. And angle C, because that's the one across from C, is 44 degrees. All right, looks like they did. The next step, 0.9 squared is 9.22. No, they did not. They squared and added these together. My apologies. They did 0.9 squared plus 2.9 squared. That's going to be 9.22 squared. Then they multiplied 0.9, and 2.9 to get 5.22. And of course, that's subtracting off. And then times the cosine of 44. All right. The opposite of squaring is to square root all of this. So everybody grab your calculator, put in a square root. Put in 9.22 minus 5.22 cosine 44 in the parentheses because the 44 is your theta, and hit enter. You're looking at approximately, what do we got to round to the 10th, 2 point. Now it's a 3, 3, which means the 3 makes the first 3 stay a 3. So it'll be 2.3. All right, is that it? Yes, that is your answer for example number 1. So what did you just find? You found this side right here from A to B, which is side little c, is 2.3. There you go. Example number 1 done. All right, let's go to the next page of your workbook, page 558. I'm on example number 2. Going to use the law of cosines, which is your side, side, side. All right. Find the value of x in the nearest whole number. All right, so this is what I'm looking at. I'm looking at x being an angle. So now I'm going to have to do inverse in there somewhere. All right, not a right triangle. So it's not trying to figure out if it's a sine, cosine, or tangent. Do I have a matching set? I have angle P, which I'm trying to find with little p. That's a 9. I do not have angle M, but I do have little m. I do not have angle N, but I have side N. So I do not have a matching set. It's not the law of sines, which means last resort, law of cosines. Okay, here it goes. I'm looking for angle P, which means I've got to have little p being sought after. So it's going to be p squared equals m squared plus n squared, because those are my other two sides. This is the m across from angle M, and this is the N, the side across from angle N, minus 2mn cosine P. Okay, so let's see here. What do we want me to do? Okay, I want me to fill in the whole thing. All right, so it's going to be little m, which is 5 squared, all right, plus n, that is going to be the 11 squared, minus 2 times 5 times 11, so times 5 times 11 times the cosine of x. All right. So it looks like, let's see what they do next. So 9 squared is 81. All right, so now I need to do 5 squared plus 11 squared in my calculator. 5 squared plus 11 squared is 146. And then they multiplied 2 times 5 times 11 to get 110. So it's going to be minus 110 cosine of x. Okay, let's see, what do they do next? Okay, so it looks like they are going to subtract 146 to the other side. So 81 minus 146 is a negative 65. And it leaves me with the negative 110 cosine of x to the other side. Or the opposite of multiplying is to divide by the negative 110. And they did that step for me, which is nice of them. All right, here we go. There's that inverse I said earlier. You're looking for an angle, which means you got to do inverse cosine of this. Negative 65 divided by negative 110. So everybody grab your calculator, put in inverse cosine, however your calculator works. Put in negative 65 divided by negative 110 in the parentheses and hit enter. Oh, okay, they want me to do that. Let me do that. So this would be negative 65 over negative 110. All right. All right, hit enter, you guys. You should be looking at an angle of about 86 point, what do we got to round to? Ooh, round to the nearest whole number. All right, back up. So after that point, after that decimal is a 6, which means the 6 makes this 86 round to an 87. So you should be looking at 87 degrees. All right, we just found angle P, 87 degrees. 87 degrees for angle P, everybody. All right, got our check coming up. So that was example number 2, and our check is just below that on page 558. All right, got to find the value of x. Okay, not a right triangle, so it's not Oscar had a heap of apples or whatever you're using to remember sine, cosine, tangent. I do not have a matching set. I'm looking for angle R. I have side R, but I do not have both S's. I do not have both T's. So this is a law of cosines. All right, and I'm looking for X, which is angle R, which means R has to be what I set equal to. So if you're a visual person and you're sitting there going, or what you talking about? So it's going to be R squared equals, because I've got to find angle R, so R has to be out front. All right, the other side is S and T, so it'll be S squared plus T squared minus 2 ST cosine big R. So there's your formula. If you're wondering, for Miss Eccles, it's not an A, B, or C. What do I do? All right, so you're going to do R squared equals S squared plus T squared minus 2ST cosine of R. Okay, filling in, I have little r because R side is across from angle R, so it's going to be a 3 squared. All right, filling in for S, across from angle S is 6.1 squared. Filling in for T is a side across from angle T, that's 4.5 squared minus 2 times 6.1 times 4.5 times the cosine of X, because I do not know what angle R is. Okay, one thing at a time, you guys. 3 squared is 9. All right, I'm going to, on my calculator, do 6.1 squared plus 4.5 squared. Just this part right here. 6.1 squared plus 4.5 squared. Just that part right there is 57.46. All right, now I'm going to do the stuff that's behind the minus. 2 times the 6.1 times the 4.5. Just this, 2 times 6.1 times 4.5, and that ends up being 54.9 times the cosine of X. Okay. I'm going slow enough. I'm going to do the opposite of adding 57.46, and that is to subtract it to the other side to be with the 9. So it's going to be 9 minus 57.46. 9 minus 57.46 is a negative 48.46. And over here I have left negative 54.9 times the cosine of X. All right, the opposite of multiplying by negative 54.9 is to divide by negative 54.9. So I'm going to divide negative 54.9 to the other side where the negative 48.46 is. So I got negative 48.46 divided by the negative 54.9. And what's left on the right side is the cosine of X. Okay, now here's where I got to do inverse. I got to do inverse of this ugly stuff right here, because the only way to get a cosine to go away, because I'm solving for the angle X, is to do the inverse cosine. So it's going to be cosine to the negative 1 of the negative 48.46 divided by the negative 54.9. So this is what you're putting in your calculator. This is going to get you what X is. So grab a calculator, do inverse cosine. That's the cosine to the negative 1 power. It's going to open up a parenthesis for you. Put in negative 48.46 divided by negative 54.9, and then close your parenthesis. And I'm sure they want it to the nearest whole number. That is going to be 28 degrees, because there's a 0 after the decimal. 0 does not make the 8 change. This is going to be angle X, 28 degrees. So there you go. 28 degrees, everybody. All right, there's our check. Whew. Let's move on. All right, example number 3. Okay, got a word problem. Looks like they did this one for me, which is nice. Okay, Nat is golfing and uses a distance measuring tool to determine that the tee box where he is standing is 378 yards from the hole. Cool. All right. To avoid a water hazard, Nat turns 32 degrees and hits a shot 261.5 yards away from the fairway. Complete the diagram with the correct values. Then find the distance between Nat's ball and the hole. All right, so that's going to be our unknown. Okay. I am looking for a side. There it is, x squared. The opposite angle goes in for the cosine. So there it is, 32. The other two sides are the 378 and the 261.5, and those put in for your other two sides minus 2 times those two sides. All right, so grab a calculator. Because the opposite of squaring is a square root, all of that information they have. So everybody put a square root. All right, see what we got here. 211,266.25 minus 197,694 cosine 32. Hit enter. Woo woo. All right, so it looks like I have approximately to the nearest yard 2, 0. Now I would put an 8, but the number behind the decimal is an 8, so it makes it go to 209 yards. 209 yards, everybody. So it's about 209 yards away from the hole. All right, that was example number 3 on page 558, and we have a check coming up. All right, cell phone tower. Cell phone company builds 2 towers that are 2 miles apart from one tower to the next. There it is, you visual people. They choose a random location 1.1 miles from the tower A and 1.5 miles from tower B to test the tower's signal strength. Find the value of x, which is an angle, because there's my degree mark, to the nearest degree. All right. I love when they don't give me any visually thing to look at. Okay, so I am looking for the angle, which is x. Across from it is the 2. So it's going to be 2 squared. All right, my other two sides are the 1.1 squared plus the 1.5 squared minus 2 times 1.1 times 1.5 cosine of x. All right, one thing at a time. 2 squared is 4. Okay, on my calculator, I'm going to do just the 1.1 squared plus the 1.5 squared. 1.1 squared plus 1.5 squared is 3.46. Your minus sign. All right, next up is the 2 times 1.1 times 1.5. 2 times 1.1 times 1.5 is 3.3 cosine x. All right, I'm going to subtract 3.46 to the other side. So 4 minus 3.46 is 0.54. Now that equals don't forget your negative, 3.3 cosine x. The opposite of multiplying by negative 3.3 is to divide by negative 3.3. So take that 0.54, divide by negative 3.3, and we get this really ugly number. Negative 0.1636, yada, 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 equals the cosine of x. Now, inverse. Because when you're looking for an angle, you got to do inverse. So we're going to do inverse cosine of that really ugly number. What was it? 1636. This is going to equal your x. Everybody grab a calculator. Do inverse cosine of that answer. You're looking at about 99 degrees. They want it to the nearest. What do they want it to? They want it to, I'm sure I can't see it, near something. So I got 99.4. They went to the nearest degree. 99 degrees. All right, there it is. Angle x, 99 degrees, everybody. Woo woo. Oh, good grief. Example number 4. All right, I'm on page 559. Example number 4. Good. They do a lot of examples on this. Okay. All right. Not a right triangle. I do not have a matching C. Ooh, I don't have any angles at all. I don't have angle A, angle B, or angle C. Ooh, they're asking me to find everything. They are. Oh, I hate problems like this. They're long. All right. What do they want me to find first? Let me find A. All right, they're looking at me to find angle A first. Okay, so if I'm looking for angle A first, A is what goes to the square on the other side. So there's your 7 squared. All right, B is across from angle B, which is the 11 squared. Plus the C is across from angle C, and that is my 8 squared. All right. Oh, they did the next one for me. I love it. 2 times 11 times 8 cosine of A. All right. 7 squared is 49. They do this for me. Nice. All right. So I got to do the 2 times 11 minus 88. So 22 times 8 is going to be 176. And that's cosine of, I don't know what angle A is. I'm going to keep it angle A. Subtract 185 to the other side. Oh, yeah, okay, that's what they do. So 49 minus 185 is a negative 136. And that's gonna, where's my equals? I guess that's where the equals goes. That's weird. All right, divided by the negative 176, and they did that step for me. And then the opposite of cosine is the inverse cosine. So you get 39.4 degrees for angle A. Okay. Oh, now I have a matching set. All right, I've got angle A, which is 39.4 degrees, and I have side A is 7. So I'll bet you $5 they're doing law of sines next. Look at that. Can I call it or what? I have a matching set. A and little a. And it looks like they're going to find angle B next because I have side B is the 11. All right. All right, so, oh, they didn't fill in angle A. Isn't that interesting? Why would they not do that? Because we have angle A right there. Why don't y'all just show it? Look, the 39 degrees goes right there for angle A. So it'd be sine of 39 over 7, sine of B over the 11, cross multiply. So it's going to be 7 times the sine of B right there. And they really should have put in the 39 for angle A. Oh, now they do it. Okay, fine, whatever. All right, divide by the 7 to the other side. Do inverse sine of this ugly mess. And you get 85.9 degrees. And that's angle B. So now we have angle A and we have angle B. And we need to find angle C. Well, what do 3 angles of a triangle add up to be? Oh, somebody please tell me you know it's 180. 180 minus the 2 you have is angle C. So angle C is 55 degrees. And we're going to do the same thing on our check, which is on the next page, is it not? Yes, it is. Page 560 of your workbook. Looking for all of your missing stuff. Oh, goodness, and they don't give me anything. All right, so B, there it is 10.2. C, 9.3, and angle A is 26. So I got to find side A, angle B, and angle C. All right, so let's find A first. Oh, man. They don't give me anything visually to look at. All right, so A squared equals, all right, B squared plus C squared. All right, so it's going to be 10.2 squared plus 9.3 squared minus 2 times 10.2 times 9.3 times the cosine of A is 26 degrees. Okay, so A squared, here's the lovely thing about this. I can type all this in my calculator. I mean, every single little bitty thing, because my unknown is on the other side. So everybody grab your calculator, put in 10.2 squared, hit your plus sign, 9.3 squared, hit your minus sign, 2 times 10.2 times 9.3 times cosine, regular cosine, because we're not looking for an angle. We have it. Regular cosine, 26 goes in the parenthesis. Hit enter. You're looking at about 20.01, yada, 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 yada. The opposite of squaring, it's a square root. So square root that number you have, looking at your calculator, and you're going to get about, they want me to round to the nearest tenth, 4 point. Now it's a 4, 7, which makes the 7, make the 4, go to a 5. So your side is about 4.5. 4.5. Now that you have a set angle A and little a, you can do law of sines to find whichever one you want first. Doesn't really matter which one you find. Angle A has been found. Sorry, my angle B or angle C. Doesn't really matter which one. Let me erase this. I thought I did it. There we go. All right, so I have both of my A's. So it's going to be sine of angle A divided by little a equals, let's find angle B first. So it'll be sine of angle B over little b, and little b was 10.2. Cross multiply. All right, so you're going to multiply 10.2 times the sine of 26 and 4.5 times the sine of b. The opposite of multiplying is to divide by the 4.5. Remember, trying to get the sine of b by itself, so divide by the 4.5. So 10.2 sine 26. All of that divided by 4.5. And it's going to equal sine of b. And we got to do inverse. Inverse sine of all of this nasty stuff right here. So on top, remember, was the 10.2 sine 26. And on the bottom was the 4.5. All right. Looks like it's going to be about 83 point to the nearest tenth. It's a 5, 3, so the 3 does not make the 5 change. It'd be about 83.5 degrees. And that's going to be your angle B. 83.5 degrees. 83.5 degrees. All right, well, now that I have two angles of this triangle, angle A is 26, angle B is 83.5. I'm going to subtract those from 180 to get angle C. So 180 minus 26 minus 83.5, 70.5. There's angle C. All right, fantastic. Looks like I'm done with the check. All right, angle 5. Sorry, example 5. What have I got? A right triangle. All right, find the measure of the nearest degree, the nearest tenth, finding the angle. Oh, what am I looking for? Find FG. Oh, that's Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. This is a right triangle, which means FG is my hypotenuse. So it'll be 2 squared, technically, because that's your F. And 3 squared, because technically that's your G. All right, so let's see, 2 squared plus 3 squared. That's going to be 13. The opposite of squaring is the square root of 13. I guess they want me to show all of my steps, which is not normal, because when has this book ever asked me to show all of my steps? All right, so it's going to be about 3 point, what am I rounding to? The 10th, 3.6. All right, got it. All right, we're using the law of sines to find angle F. So I'm looking for this angle. It is across from little f, which is 2. All right, here it goes. All right, so 2 squared is, let's see, G squared is 3 squared. All right, H squared is what I just found, 3.6 squared. All right. Oh, they want me to do the square root of 13. My apologies. So the same thing. And that's going to be cosine of f. What's f? I don't know what f is. F is what I'm looking for, so let's keep it in f. 2 squared is 4. All right, 3 squared plus the square root of 13 squared is 22. 2 times 3 is 6 times the square root of 13 will be 6 square root of 13. All right, cosine of f. All right, 4 minus 22, because the opposite of adding is to subtract. It's going to be a negative 18 equals that divided by the negative 6 square root of 13. All right, it's going to be, okay, so what am I doing here? Oh, they want me to go ahead and do inverse. Okay, so go ahead, I guess, and do inverse. Inverse of this stuff. So inverse cosine. So inverse cosine negative 18 divided by negative 6 square root of 13. All right, I got about, to the nearest tenth, 33 point, it's a 6, 9, so the 9 makes a 6 go up, 33.7 degrees. All right, 33.7 degrees. All right, so they're saying it's approximately 34 degrees. All right, 90 minus 34 degrees to get my last angle. 90 minus 34, 56 degrees. 56 degrees. There we go. All right, we got to check. You know what? I'm leaving this to you guys. Try it out. See what you get. Because this is going on a very long time. All right, try this out, you guys. This is on you. Do the Pythagorean theorem to get FG. All right, looking for angle F, so make sure it's 8 squared equals all this other stuff. And I'm going to leave this one to you. You guys have a great day.